Managing the files folder. Well, this is just offering some tips in how to tidy up and make your folders look more presentable and easy to access. All file folders, if we look at this test example we have here on our Moodle server, most files folders are actually under the administration. So if we go in under administration, scroll down, we can see files. So we select that. And here we have all the materials that we're using on our course. As you can see, if we scroll down, we don't have to scroll down much to see them all, and that's not so bad, but I'm sure a lot of you know that there are many modules where you really have to scroll down a lot to find resources or materials that you are using. And I think that this can be presented a lot better if we take care of what we're doing at the initial stages of when we are creating our course. To give you an example, here we have some PDFs, materials that are used related to the dissertation process, and these, and here we have another two here, these in their own right could actually be placed within their own folder. So how do you do that? Well, that's quite easy. We know we want a folder called a dissertation, so we can first of all make a folder. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, we can see make a folder. We select that. It'll ask us for a name, so let's call it dissertation, and we'll create it. And there we have on the top of our files folder this folder dissertation. Now what we want to do is we want to put those files in there, so we'll select them, those four, and then we have these two here. Okay, there may be others, but as for example purposes, that's fine. And then we go down here and it says with those chosen files, the ones we have selected, what do we want to do with them? We want to move them to another folder. Okay, and then it will appear here on top. We have selected 7 files, and we need to go to that folder, the destination folder, and move the files to there. That's fair enough. This is the dissertation folder that we had set up previously. So we select that, and then we have the option, the very first option, move files to here, and we do that. Now we have all those 7 files related to dissertation within a folder entitled dissertation. And if we go back to the parent folder, they're no longer there, they're no longer in the list, and they're in the folder. So that's one way. You can see here also we have examples of poster, and we could also create a folder called poster and put those into posters. And then if we want to update information on the course, which means bringing in new files and new things, for example, we may want to bring in more information or upload more information in relation to dissertation, we have a folder where we can put that in, and we know exactly where we are. That's a nice way of tidying it up and making it look more presentable. There is one note of caution I have to tell you. This is something you need to do right at the beginning, as I mentioned previously, from the outset of when you are creating the course. So this has to be done before you actually set up your course and put the materials within each respective blocks within the course. If we go back to the course, and I'll show you. For example, we have these dissertation models here. These dissertation materials or resources, PDFs. And if you remember, we've put them now in a folder. If I select one of them to open it, you will find that Moodle cannot locate it. And we have nothing is happening. So I will go back. The reason it's not finding is because we've changed the location at this moment. We've actually created a new folder and placed that particular PDF into another folder. So the location, the file location, will change. And so we have to be careful when we do that. You need to do this, and anything else to it, you need to do this before you construct, before you set up your materials within the blocks here. Otherwise, then it's quite dangerous. You can't really start changing things within the files folder after that. So be careful. If you want to take care and manage your files, start doing it right from the outset and start creating your folders directly from the outset. If you do change them during, then you have to be careful. You need to then go and change the address in which you locate that file within the folder. And that's another video that we have set up for you to look at, and you can see that later.